finished watching Wonka, and I enjoyed it much more than I thought I would. It helped me to see my present circumstance as not the end of the world, but the beginning of a new one. If I desired to live in that world, that's the world of pure imagination. it's like it's like what Ed Milet says, right? He says it all the time. You can live out of your imagination or your memory. I've done both. When you're trying to keep in contact with your memory, when you're trying to have things line up, it doesn't really work. But when you are willing to live out of your imagination instead, to believe in what could be, life is a lot more brilliant. This is day 28 in a row of doing daily YouTube live streams, and it's super humbling that we're doing it this late. I ended up going to paddleboard with some friends. Then after that, one of my friends wanted to go to the store, so we got some stuff at the store, and he paid for me, but I paid him back immediately. And after that, ended up doing some writing while talking with a friend, which was good. And then I ended up watching the rest of Wonka. Well, watching all of Wonka. I watched it all at the same time. And it was quite inspiring. My brain feels much brighter. My spirit feels much calmer. My heart feels much more heard than it did 24 hours ago. And I'm very, very humbled, of course. And I'm reminded that if there's something that speaks to you, if there's something that speaks to you that helps you to have hope for a better tomorrow and a better today, then I think you should hold on to that thing with about every single ounce of effort that you can muster. So in Wonka, there's a lot of overcoming of adversity, and there's a lot of learning. But ultimately, Wonka gets to pay off his debts. He starts his store, and then eventually he gets the factory. And it really made me think it's like where I'd like to go. I have to follow a similar path. I cannot afford to stay in the dark, hide in the dark from the light, because the light always finds me. And I need to continue to move forward. And I need to pay off all the debts that I owe other people. Because I just had another friend who I was hoping would come through on something they owed me, and they did not. And it made me think, it's like, oh shoot, I have debts I have not paid, so how can I expect for people to pay debts to me that they owe me, right? So that's kind of the top of the brain for you. Also, in the movie, there's multiple times where Wonka has to make a decision, and he makes a decision to look after his dream and to look after those people that are helping to fuel the dream. So I've had many experiences in my life where God has put people in my life out of literal nowhere, and I think sometimes that they're meant to be in my life for a certain thing, and then it turns out they're often meant for something different. And it's always better, because sometimes that person could not play the role that I would like them to play. As frustrating as this is, it's better that somebody would live in the truth instead of living in a lie, if you get my drift. I haven't heard back from Wendy's, even though I applied there and I interviewed there. And I'm just very humbled. I was thinking of all the things I could do to kind of walk in a similar path. I don't want to spoil the movie for you, but just like anything in life, to start a great enterprise, there must be a beginning. There must be a start, as humble as that start is. To sell something, you have to have something to sell. And at this moment, I have my newsletter, which is free, and I have my books you can get on Kindle. And I've had some people get it on Kindle Unlimited, which is great. But I don't think my dreams were ever supposed to be limited to Kindle Unlimited. Because that is a limited dream indeed, when you could have books, you could have CDs, you could have audiobooks, you could have all these other things, right? So basically what I'm saying is that today I was reminded that I can dream a lot bigger than I currently am. And that if I'm willing to sacrifice for that dream, then I can have it. If I'm willing to use my brain to fulfill that dream, then it can happen. However, if I'm letting my brain get snugged on other things, memories, things that are not so pleasant, it's very unlikely. One of the songs in the movie was talking about how there is no life I know to compare with pure imagination. Living there, you'll be free if you truly wish to be. So, I'm on the high right now. We're doing this as I'm on the high. We won't be on the high for super long, but we're on the high right now. We're on the roller coaster right now. We're feeling all the feels. We're feeling the emotions. We're feeling the energy and the joy. We're feeling the transfer. We're feeling it all right now. So we're letting ourselves feel it right now. That was another thing too. While I was on the paddleboard in the middle of Mirror Lake, I was enjoying it quite a lot. But there was also a lot of things going on in my head, and I was reminded that if you take away emotion, if you take away feeling, you take away all good and bad, which I cannot afford to do. Because with my poetry and with the other things I do, feeling is a very important part of it. If you can't get somebody to feel anything, then it's very difficult for them to want to change. You have to get someone to feel something. It's very difficult to get any kind of movement or progress or something from an individual unless they're willing to feel, they feel differently. They feel something, right? Like right now, I feel a hope. I feel a vision. I feel perspective flowing, right? And that's a beautiful thing. But that is not enough. There must be effort and focus centered on that dream happening. See, in the movie, Willy Wonka had these ideas and he believed in what he was doing so much, and then he moved forward in that direction and did not care, what's in his way. He continuously used his mind to work through every difficulty. And I've had times where when difficulty comes, I hide under my blanket, and that cannot be done. I cannot afford to do that anymore. I've had far too many times where I've done that. It's led to losing several opportunities, but what I'm trying to remind future me and myself is that we're playing an infinite game here, and the only way you can lose is to not play. And stacking up days is exactly what I need to be doing right now, because not only are we stacking up days, we're stacking up moments, we're stacking up clarity, understanding. The only way we could be at this level of understanding at this point is if I'd continued to say no to temptation, which I have, and I've said yes to elevation, which I've also done. And it's very unlikely that I will get where I want to be quickly. It's humbling too, because in the movie there's points and it's like, well, there's this deadline and that deadline. And I certainly have felt the pain of deadlines. But I also know enough that there's light at the end of the tunnel. And there's light that can go brighter and brighter if you're willing to walk towards that light. For me, that light is from Jesus Christ, who has overcome everything that I'll experience, every difficult feeling, every single thing, and will help me to overcome anything that is coming up and to achieve, to live, to not just live a life, but to live my fondest dream of a life and to live something much greater than that. It says in Ephesians 3:20, now unto him who's able to do exceedingly and abundantly more than you can ask, think, or imagine. That's what it says in the verse. I take God at his word. I like to take God at his word. Instead of thinking that there's some part of his blessings that is unavailable to me, but that there is something greater out there if I'm willing to give it everything I have. And that requires sometimes walking in darkness, because you know you're being led to somewhere better. Pain is very temporary. I feel some pain right now as we're walking through this field that is not very pleasant. Now I need to find my flip-flop, because that is an important flip-flop. It would be a very big flop if I did not find that flip-flop. But the nice thing is I've not walked very far, and so I know it is close by. Where are you, Mr. Flip-Flop? I do not know. I shall not return back with half a flip-flop. That I will not do. Again, the pain is temporary. The pain is temporary. It is too dark to be able to see. But if you're willing to move when it's difficult to move, you might be able to get somewhere never been before. So now we're going to retrace our steps, because that's water. There goes my other flip-flop. What? Is this flip-flop number 1? That's flip-flop number 2. Okay, so we flip-flop number 2 in hand. I cannot see. There's a very good chance that we might need to come back later. I do not want to leave, but at the same time I cannot see a single thing, and neither can you. It's very difficult to remain optimistic when it feels like you're living on half of a dream or half of a life or whatever. But how wonderful it is, when you find it. You have to be willing to suffer. I have a poem that says, there must be a generous buffer. You cannot check your notifications every hour. But I've had times where I was spending way too much time checking my notifications every hour. No, but far too much, especially for someone that I feel I need to become. This is dreadful. Father, I don't know if you, well, obviously you know where my flip-flop is. I don't know if we're going to get it out. What happened was I was walking, and instead of taking that normal path that was going that way, I ended up going a little bit off the path, ended up in this water. Ooh, oh, that actually sinks down. that sinks down. So this flip-flop might be a little bit more gone than I thought. So if we take a couple steps out, now we're out of the craziness. And yeah, I cannot see a flip-flop. And my fingers do not feel so great. But someday I'll go back and I'll remember watching Wonka, and I'll remember how I felt, and I'll remember all of these things, and I won't be able to presently feel any of them because it'll all be gone. I won't be living here anymore. I'll be living somewhere else. I don't know where I'll be living, but I certainly will be living in a better place where I can live the dream more freely. I do not know where that other flip-flop went. I would really like to find it. However, I cannot see very well. This is disgusting water. I don't know where that flip-flop went. It'd be much easier to find it now, because then I would not have to go back later. If I had to guess, it fell off when I took a step. That is so... Do you hear that? That is so muddy. I don't even know where that went. And it's kind of spiky, too. I don't know. Just don't know. I'm just glad there's no wild animals over here. I'm pretty close to heading back, because we've had quite an adventure. Losing the flip-flop was not the joy that I was hoping to experience, but I think we did share some of what I was able to experience from watching said movie. And there's a lot of things that are better than what I'm experiencing right now. Getting up out of bed, jumping on the computer to do some writing is more pleasant than what I'm doing right now, which is trying to find a yellow flip-flop in the dark when there's a lot of thorns nearby. And they're not like super, super thorny, but they're thorny enough just to make a statement. Just enough to be frustrating. Just enough to recognize that it's getting in the way. Same thing with anything is holding you back from the dream. It won't just take away your flip-flop. It'll take away your bank account. It won't just take away your bank account. It'll take away your schedule, your clarity, your peace of mind. So if you do have a dream, if you do have some semblance of an idea of where you'd like to go, then work towards it. Fight for it. And most importantly, believe in it. Because the only way that that's going to happen is if you're doing things that you have not previously done. Super, super, super important. So, I looks like I might be walking home with just one flip-flop, which would be quite a humbling endeavor, which I have not quite accepted. However, this phone has a cover over it, which prevents the light from truly reaching it. I cannot see Mr. Flip-Flop. I do not know where he is, but it came off when I was walking through here. So, Here it must be. I'm giving myself until the 30-minute mark, because that'll be midnight. As crazy as it is, I enjoy this life I get to have. I enjoy my robust body. Even though I'm 30 years of age, I'm still quite agile and able to move around, which is a blessing. It is a great blessing. I think the play here is to put flip-flop of right foot away and go with no flip-flops into it and find flip-flop 1 is there. Do you want to see it? I'll show you. There is flip-flop 1. You cannot see it, but that's where it is. And I'm going to find flip-flop number 2. Oh, wait. There's flip-flop 1. There it is. Can't see it, but that's it. And we're going to find the other flip-flop, which is somewhere, in this grassy spot that is pointy. Flip-flop number 1, right there. Flip-flop number 2, somewhere in this spot. What I want to remind whoever is listening to this craziness is that, it really is only temporary. If you're able to find what you're looking for, it is worth going through the pain. It is worth rejection. It is worth all those things. Because in any moment, I could magically step where my flip-flop got dropped off. And what a beautiful, glorious moment that would be. That would be a great moment. Do I expect this to happen? No. Can you hear the water? That is mud. That is pure disgustingness mud. But I seek to be a man of my word. I seek to learn from life's grand adventure. Ooh. So basically what happened there is I was reaching down and one of those thorns just kind of poked me. So that's what happened. If you reach down far enough, you reach water. But the thing is, there's thorns in the way. Where is that flip-flop? Is that the flip-flop? I do not know. But we will look and feel for the flip-flop. If we do not find it, that is okay. This has probably been one of the more bizarre live streams I've done, but it is necessary because my flip-flop did fall off and I do not know where it is and I would like to find it. I found this nice super muddy pile. Seeing as I cannot go back in time, I cannot see where flip-flop went, but I can push these thorns down and I can be closer to it. Maybe I'll wake up early tomorrow and find the flip-flop. I thought for a second I had it. Thought for a second I saw it. But I cannot see. So the only way I could see it is in my mind, or I actually see it. We'll probably come back here tomorrow to find the flip-flop when it's light. It's a lot easier to find what you're looking for when it is not nighttime. But right now, folks, it is nighttime, and I'm excited for a new day tomorrow. I'm excited to act on the feelings I have had oh my gosh, folks. Oh my goodness. Could it be? Could it be? Could it be? No, it is not. This is a random random thingamabobber. Did it feel like, did I think it was a flip-flop? Yes. Was it a flip-flop? No. There's something else. Feels like my flip-flop. But alas, I do not think it is my flip-flop. Well, future Dallin who might be listening to this, it's in your nice house. Remember this moment, please. This is a humbling moment. Truthfully, I need a bath at this point. We've gone where Dallin has not gone before. Going into the mud, this nice little spot, trying to find a flip-flop that has still not been found, but yet I'm giving myself until 30 minutes into the live stream to stop looking. The problem is this grass is quite thick and you cannot see anything. It's a difficult predicament, to be sure. So anytime my brain has felt like this, I give myself grace. For when things felt very out of place, when things didn't make any sense, I wandered to the other side of the fence. Place I was never meant to go. A flow where I was never meant to flow. Today is a new beginning. Today, it's a new season of much winning. Finding this flip-flop did not happen today, but I'll find it tomorrow. Yes, I will. So whenever I wake up in the morning, I shall move with great haste back to this place in search of what was lost, which was my precious flip-flop. In gratitude, that I'm willing to face this pain and feel it, not run away because of the love for my flip-flop, because of the belief I have in my dream, and the hopes that still are before me. We did not find the flip-flop, but we tried. Here's the mud. We will see it tomorrow. But for now, you can listen. There you go. My feet have been in the mud. My hands have been torn by the thorns. We are walking with our one flip-flop back to home, which is my home for the time being. Alex, you just missed out on the most epic, one of the most epic things I've ever done. Just kidding. I lost my flip-flop in that. So I need to come back tomorrow. But I gave myself several minutes to look for said flip-flop. And we will try again. I just watched Wonka, and so I'm just high on life right now. And I was walking through that to get to the temple, and what ended up happening was that was not the path. I was walking through those muddy, thorny bushes. We were walking through the muddy, thorny bushes, and so we lost the flip-flop. But we do have one flip-flop, and the other flip-flop looks like this flip-flop, although it's from my other foot. So we're going home, grateful for what we learned from today. We did hit 1,000 subs. We did. We're at 1,080, I think, last I checked, something like that. We're doing daily YouTube live streams. That's what we're doing. It's day 28. That's what we're doing. We're documenting. I'll always remember this. Always. That was painful. My foot still hurts. My fingers definitely have been cut a bit by those thorns. But that is nowhere near as bad as rising up and facing another day and trying again with joy. There are far better things, so I just have to walk towards them. And yeah, we did kind of lose the flip-flop, but that's okay. We'll get it back. We'll come back. That's what I'll do. You want to see my feet? Want to see my hands? I'll show you. For those who've stuck around, you have stuck around. I didn't make any of this up. Look. I was reaching down to try and find that flip-flop in the thorns. Could not find it. Flip-flop. Oh, there's my foot. Looks pretty crusty. Other foot. Yep, that was mud we were walking in. It was definitely mud we were walking in. But I'm glad we have one flip-flop. So we're going to take a nice hot shower. Go back to my tower and sleep. But it has been a good day. Good day of meeting new people. Good day of feeling hope. Feeling the joy that could be right ahead of me. All I gotta do is keep going. Again, pain is temporary. Pain cannot last. It can't. There's pains from years ago I'm not even able to feel anymore. All you have is the memory of the pain. The pain itself is gone. It's because there's healing that's taken place, deliverance has taken place, joy has taken its place. It's proof. Proof of something better, bigger, more personally wonderful. That's what I'm walking towards right now. First, we'll reclaim the flip-flop. For the flip-flop must be reclaimed. You don't go through this much pain to get nothing. I must get what I came here for. Very important. People will think you're crazy regardless. But if you're actually living the life that you know you need to live, there's pure freedom in that. Pure imagination in that. That's where you'll be free. John 10:10. I have come that you might have life, that you might have it more abundantly. That's what Jesus said. The devil came to seek and to destroy, defile, break you down. But Christ came that we might have life, that we might have it more abundantly. So we keep going. That's what we do. We keep stacking up days and stacking up clarity and learning from the journey. Learning to not live in a place that I'm not supposed to live. To go somewhere better. That is it. Well, folks, 'twas fun. Alex, thanks for being here. It's great to see you. We shall get that flip-flop tomorrow morning, hopefully before church, but we shall see. Until then, God is in the details. He knows everything. Trust his plan. It's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. You got to keep putting work, though. That's something that I did not really do a ton of this week. And I feel the pain. Had a new friend tell me, when you live out of alignment, that is often where the pain comes from. You're living out of alignment in some way, shape, or form. I love you too, Alex. Hope you have an awesome rest of your night. We're going to get that flip-flop. Guaranteed. Or at least we're going to try. So, legitimately, my feet smell so bad because of the mud. Reminds me of when I went through a sewage drain to get a football for a friend. But, yeah. Christ laid down his life for his friends. I need to be better for my friends. And we're going to keep going. So, yeah, look at this thumb, dude. Crusty, muddy thumb. But yeah, God is good. He loves you. And I love you too, Alex. Helped me immensely. We'll keep going. Catch you later, guys.